Hello there. Welcome to the Amazon Show. So hopefully you understand here. What goes on here is education, definitely some empowerment. We add humor, information, and just a good vibe generally. It is not just a talk show, it's a live show. We talk about life, we unpick life, we find solutions to the things that stress us in life, and we make progress together. It is the Amma Manson Show, and my name is Amma, your girl, your educator, your motivator, and I take your hand wherever it leads. Enjoy, invite other people to join in, and hopefully you have a wonderful experience on today's show. Let's get straight into things.
Okay, abusuafo. Mechiamu me mamu adwo achi abribia abo ewo baabi amowo no me de sanchia no me de mamu. E mamu nyina fa aba ene menya ahokwo ewo screen no so. Me baby se bisa sa ahokwo na de kura wo moye wo me screen so so mu nyina kire me de wo moye. Na yehu e do mu nyina be hia wo ha. Me se ne me pese me nya ntiase, pese me nya nhunu. Niye me bi wo ha me ntiase nkete. Eti ebusuafo yi bebo ame na matini nyina ase se obi ye ho page no so you might not be aware ye di Ghana aman yosem ani ntutu ho nkomo eti ni ko bi a menim se wo mo ye Ghana aman yosem ana so mo ye Ghana mpuntu ho ana montu bi ana me frefre wo mo nyina kakaka na wo mo nyina be kire yase ye hunu de wo mo ye na ye hunu kwan a ye be fa so aka bom na ya boa na bia pepepepe the me say be ya yenya feedback ewo mic no my beauty obia mic me jedi papa to start with nti wa maybe ewo mic na maka atro no we introduce wo no wa kire yen organization no adwuma wudi wo ebia na yetikura ye ne enya obi foforo so abeka ye ho but for the time being ya ye was yes starting common sister Ellie me papa chow I start to go mute to side. Okay, excellent. Tell you, Akaba.
Yo, me da siminia. Apomwe.
I hope someone's
good. Bye, try me here.
Tell you. Diana, Okramu Kuna, Diana Moye, now one for Diana walked it through you.
Yo, your corner, a friend of Oman Ghana Baako. Oman Ghana Baako means one Ghana, just one Ghana, united Ghana. Inti yeah, but I the buy and say, yeah, encourage you say, yeah, Ghana for Timemu for no, yeah, na yeah kaboom. Now without kabom no, we cannot progress.
Okay.
Said yeah, kano, we are too divided. Inti I say yakoye bibia enye ye. But you know, boom near ya dear. It helps, it propels us forward. I quite quiet to send you uko in room. Na say a head of sheep, and I say a boy be a cow. Na so woman number and they are moving a lion, a leopard, jaguar cannot attack them. The moment one of them gets behind, it will be attacked. That means that one has no power, but when they are united now, they are into that is the goal of Oman Ghana. Said yeah, we can all come together and focus on making our Ghana well. Now maybe Jinemuma and Ma, because Emano, we are like glue. When Ma, we are like glue, we kind of hold and pull people together. So that is my position here. That must say.
Okay. All right. This Ellie, yeah, that's it. Gina.
Yes, sis.
Atijina Papa. Atijina, sister Ellie are kicking her off, but may you sure one so more perspectives to add to organization and it won't actual.
Well, firstly, me checha your viewers ninga me checha obia. Your friend me Georgina Efree Woons. Mama introduce me here. Yes. Oman Ghana Baako, I maybe represent millennials na omuwo diaspora nim.
Okay.
Which is all the Ghanaians that wo, whether it's UK, America, mimijina ho ema womo. Tree is not even my first language, but because of the love na me woma Ghana no, I've embraced the language, I've embraced the country. Eninti no me pese millennials a omuwo diaspora ngano ye unite. Na knowledge, ni skills a ya acquire ngano ye de come back to Ghana simply to make the country better.
And ye may be free baby ye say in your family in Uncle Fee.
Oh, let's take it back, sis.
Hey, some of them are your family back.
Me volume na ye yi kakra.
Oh, me too. Clearly. Aye. We want to make our
Me te but a bit low.
Maybe
a bit low.
Correct for 3 points. It's millennial. What's it young Panya you bet me United Millennials? Maybe some question because I hold your area of interest for me because I've always wondered why sometimes ain't be impacted as much as we want to. Maybe and then bet me a boy am na ekuakuo no a wɔn pɛ sɛ wɔn engage saa mmɔfra no wɔn asua nneɛma wɔ hɔ ebia na yɛn nyinaa yɛtumi engage saa group ni yie paa nti mɛba wɔ hɔ mɛdi nkɔmɔ paa sɛ mo twuku ma
That's right. I really hope so. Sis, when may log it out, ma log it back in because Momo side no is so low for me.
Mate.
Into me waha may log it out, no ma log it back in. Okay, all right. Okay.
Apaba na Mr. Let me miss Uncle Sam. 1 or 2 questions. We may take Uncle Sam. Of Sam, how it is saying?
Yeah, training so that you're good into but you have to forgive me for sometimes. But yeah, your friend is some me operations manager for Oman Ghana Baako.
Okay.
Operations. Basically, me role is to try to get the organization working in all angles. So, as directed by chairman, advice into any directions, in regards to whether the executives meet and all those aspects of the organization. I try to gel things together and me role organization. I mean, most of the things that I'll probably make Gina, I think the main of it about Oman Ghana Baako is to try to unify the diaspora onto a very simple common cause to bring about development projects into Ghana, and not only necessarily social development, even intellectual aspect of it. Eventually the Acco Ghana and see how we can support government efforts. I mean, we've been in the West. Some of us are experiences of things that we've gone through. We've seen how things can work, and perhaps those knowledge, and experiences, come together now. We'll see how best everything will move Ghana forward. Our main goal, is basically about that.
Okay. You any of Sam? We do also take on a Messiaba. Kwesi, Maha Apaba.
Yeah, man, a pumbo kodia.
Adum, Bibiabo. Kwesi, Bushafona Church, the Yamamupa, or much the general aims of Oman Ghana. But me say Mr. Tiffany, Kwesi. Who has I am mine? I will hear them Oman Ghana. I don't know. Okay,
Yo, ama medino ye insiaba na nakosi kobi se de wa Canada no na Oman Ghana Baako se de metie ni so ade hunu no se Ghana fo aye bidi akwantu ye nyina ye nkan ye hombom na sue hunu aye befa nimdi aye befa no obroni kuro mu no ye mfa nkoboa na ye mfa nchichire ye man na ansa na mejo Oman Ghana Baako no na my kind and woman afa might be to say China no money Dubai no especially Dubai utie Sheikh Maktoum as my kind of by school e him krom ha no buy no hunu say omo akwan kama omo adan kama omo cars kama ne nkrofo so bitimi anya bi into service no echo fie na Dubai et said ye hunu no
yeah
intime so mi so hunu minimu say Ghana for yeso ye kan ho aboma senior China no from somewhere 85 na China world superpower no Ghana so bitimi ahase nkakra say ya ntimi anya te say Ghana China kra na ye bitimi ayama obi a wo man Ghana bia mo ho beto no enkoba say obi be dream say ana say obi feel say a man or woman adane afidie bi a ayi no we gene ho anyi nti wo dwane free name so be free Ghana not just there are better opportunities somewhere bibi na nye say oba be try a luck be or fence you so abehwe ne nkwa name there are clear opportunities and send nipa no betu kwan enye sa se nipa no e Ghana he should be able to fulfill his needs back home no ntina hu hia say obetu kwan eno na ma me ka Oman Ghana Baako say ye nyina no akwantufo ye nkan ye hombom yesu ehunu nimdeɛ ene I mean ye kakra wa ya benya wa no ye mfa nkoboa na ye nchiche Oman Ghana.
Okay, that's interesting. Sister Ellie, what does so hope? Sister Ellie Pacho on mute to home. I think say I around the introduction. Okay. Mr. Also on mute to home that this internet can be hopping and we can interact together. Tina Pacho also on mute. Okay. Right. I was saying for say I general introduction. I say yeah, the secret idea was say you describe the Bible for that's quite an ambitious project.
Very ambitious.
Now I never and son of a free Ghana. I don't know. I said to the house. How does the organization say to provide this structure and what's in here?
Ama which make a question if you na line mo did
breaking
I mean, so question.
Feedback or baby. But my maybe a question with mics muted. Na fe must be mics no. Na yakasa. I hope someone na motimenka. Me say kwesi say or person or manim die eba krum. Say be ya nipa firi Ghana kra nsa na obetu kwan no. Na onim die wa brochire kakra. They are informed before people choose to travel. And Sandy Abeka brochire be ye bobo. Now I'm thinking say that particular one is very ambitious. Because maybe two kind of crowd be sorry, I'm come baby. Also to kind of baby. How do we project see a bit to me as started that particular aspect in the first? Say be any public to find out what information. Say my question, Mattia here.
That's what I am.
And to say my maybe be mics no. Wow, person taking an intense again. So that you can help me understand the whole.
I mean, the question now would be, the relation to issues where, and I can understand the motivation will always going to be say, Ghana, now there is something better in abroad. I mean, why would you want to discourage someone, say, ma on average, and those being a person? These are very common questions that I always counsel. But the point that we trying to make is it's not like yes, to be say but if you basically create the opportunities for people in Ghana now, and you have a situation where there are options between the two, where whatever it is that you're actually going to seek for is also you have very similar things in Ghana now. And yet, me put a mechanic and those greener pastures now will seek, they're actually in your own countries. And where would you actually want to live, in your home country, or do you want to go abroad? And in quite a lot of times, some of these things is not necessarily about catch more, but creating those avenues for. But for now, The difficulty that we're going to have is because those social developmental projects that we expect our country to have now is lacking, or even if we have it now, it's actually at a minimum. Those things are what is creating the problems that we have in now. Our main goals now, you say, is about civic education, and those civic education, is in relation to happens, quite come to this understanding, say the things that we hear before we actually travel, quite a lot of them are actually not what it seems that they are. So in situations give everything on the table, people know what they're actually going to put themselves through now. Sometimes people will be convinced more, much more. We actually Milano, okay, yeah.
They say I ne breaky kakra, but they say I improve kakra. Me and share said by Betsy. Eti, my main person. Now we can say, if you say you bet me intervention in Ghana, na any abrochira ye so that abrochira is no longer green, and there is no need for anybody to go seeking greener pastures. And I'm anti.
Correct, sorry. And I mean, in seeking greener pastures, I mean, it's not an issue, say, yeah, because it's a globalized world. It is going to happen. So those aspects, there's something that you can actually not run away from. But the fact in this is this: if people are running away from their country purely because of economic reasons, now you need to make sure, say, you create situations for them where those situations, is something that you stop again. So those Ghana, so for job, unless obviously in a situation where in the job prospect income that you perhaps earning in Ghana as compared to how much income you probably earning abroad. But if the difference is not an issue where socially, I mean, Ghana, am I okay with the sort of income that I'm earning? Yet maybe 1,000 Ghana. Within that 1,000 Ghana a month, I bet me actually are looking after me and my family. And if that is the case now, then perhaps you will look at the option. It says that even if I'm back, life in Ghana is very comfortable. My life which will be
What's it? Sam, what's it? Network no or year off for kakra a body at sine kama pet na fe adani bibi foforo na aye me monitor and year share see ye share na we improve we will have to go out and come back in by year share if it might stabilize itself. Now what's it here? Papa Sam. Okay. Yabako of Asampo, I'm hoping, say backstage, because catcher of Asam or backstage service, and I won't sign fan a home cat at the end of home. Now, or in tap, it will help your friend is a network access that I hope. Anyway, you see about
Yo.
you went for a big one for me. The minute you mentioned the word women, you know that I am all over it. Ellie, what's so hockey cricket video?
So,
There's some smart critical be minimal.
I can hear clearly.
Make sure me too clearly, but as a anyway, let's
Static. I said static one.
As a static, chikri. Oh,
I'm not sure because is it because I'm on a cell phone? Could that be?
no, you're good. As a they say you're managing. I think from when I speak from your end, but I will let you speak anyway. We'll say a man. Almost increase, almost increase, nipa quality of life in the whole.
Yes.
You know, we need to put feedback and then
I mix it.
early penalty feedback. Early, you say, Mr. So what headphones? Fashion me and check. Say, yeah, me.
Oh, okay. And yeah, give mom a few minutes. I'm going to have my headphone in
They have to whilst to fix a honor. Yeah.
Yes.
Man, remember baby sister Ellie, no about man so kese. But on your end, naturally say we are talking youth and involvement. If you can engage young people in any organization, then the organization has longevity. And yes, I my better not to see almost no more naturally say, so yeah. But Ellie, I don't know about joining Papra for my association. We didn't have a Yes, Gina. Diana, where you want
Oh, because I don't look at it like that. First of all, my patriotic sama, say comments no my main address say UBM say me make key statements be at the beginning, but say it was misunderstood. Me make key statement be say tree my first language.
Yeah.
And me who say there's been plenty comments saying say adding one person make tree and I say me patro what I was trying to say ne say young woman wa Ghana and not meant na Ghana da. I'm lucky say my parents were able to teach me the language of my motherland, which is Tree.
Yeah.
But anka English nanka my first language. And
Okay.
that is why I made that comment. And actually, it just kind of shows you maybe the kind of person I am and the kind of millennials are. Ye pese ye entice into Oman Ghana Baako. You mentioned, say, why am I in such an organization? Why not? Why not?
And almost suddenly Ghana, when Ghana, they want to improve Ghana. Any Pocrasam never was, and Nabaya so the entire one.
No, because Ghana is my future. Sis, Ghana is my future. Me a Ghanaian.
Okay.
Me a Ghanaian. Look at this pandemic. See all over the world. Anka BBC and Ankomuka say, okay, you know what? Obian go back to the country. Millennials now, number one, they have no idea about Ghana. Omu consider Ghana say it's very it's not civilized. Anki Abeden says. And see, I think say we need to prepare ourselves, we need to prepare our youth. We are the future of Ghana.
Okay.
We are the future of Ghana. And how are we going to do that? That is the big question. How are we going to do that?
Remember baby some how say the person teaching general sister earlier. I mean some try my luck and sister earlier you ready. Oh, me cast Tanaira.
Oh, clearly.
However, maybe I'm going to be some microphone. At the crowd, one more year, you'll meet me over cow. It's very interesting. Kwesi, on you to hold her name is ourselves because you have a magic potion. I want to know. How I'm Pakrafo, name it for Matimuku. Namutimi, ya dada Gina, Emma Nidimuja show, and the friend. Because they are yati to who I press your friend, Gina Nini, the Kayo. You nipa. Your friend, but they are woman, but I want him for your friend. Your friend, woman, no mujan. Simpesa Metiasi, a quanya momo fastwa, with me, a buy you come, the calm. Resi, moya anything.
Ama medasene wasembisa. Me pacho obi atiminka.
Obi atonka kama, maybe tonka.
The atene say ama Ghana enim akokra, Ghana enim abaya, na Ghana enim abrantie. Ghana wo ahoma Ghana ni bia, ani obia odo Ghana. Na ye katwi no me hu se ase no ebi ye na aka twi nye Ghana kasa baako wɔ Ghana ada na yɛyi so twi no mu ne adeɛ ɛno ne adeɛ a ɛha yɛ sɛ ɔman sɛ nsɛm bi a wɔsɛ yɛgye tom no yɛmpɛ sɛ yɛbɛgye atom wokɔ China wa ɛwɔ one common language a wɔn mu nyinaa ɛka ɛyɛ Chinese language no but there are different dialects of languages in China and so ɔman yɛ adwene agye baako atom even Germany koraa no wokɔ Dutch na ɔmo ka no yɛwɔ ne different bebree but ɔma gye atom sɛ ɔman ɛka baako saa deɛ no yɛ adeɛ wɔ sɛ Ghanafoɔ yɛbɛgye tom sɛ akanfoɔ no adɔɔso wɔ Ghana de di kan ɛna other tribes ni bebrebe dodoɔ na nso asua akan kasa no ka etini sɛ wohwɛ mu a ɛyɛ kasa a nipa bebree na no ɛka no wɔ Ghana sɛsi ɛno nkyerɛ sɛ sɛbi tribe bi aso Chan tribe bi ana tribe bi aso Chan tribe bi na mmom yɛn nyinaa no yɛmpɛ a common grounds sɛ ɔman no yɛpɔ deɛ ɛwɔ mu ne sɛ wotu kwan afiri Ghana ama womfa akanfoɔ passport ne tu kwan ɛna womfa aigbefoɔ anaasɛ nkranfoɔ passport or the Ghanaian passport any two kwan. It's yen no the common front and say Ghana for. It's yen facade difference in 20. So sir wabaya miahe I will free her a yuku idiano. And adia edimoa could raya mayo se mumpomu.
Yeah.
In the AD. So a brasso. Say Oman Ghana Baako ye fra tembia sama ye kan say. Enye amanyo sem. Enye somsem ena enye mifiri hanomsem na emom ye say Ghana fo nyina
one common Ghana
we ye Ghana ni nko ade a beka ye ho ye nka mom na de tene say ye policy ni ye so attractive not only to ye nkokorafo say de wo kan no de ye bia no so hwe ye moto krai na ye saving the next generation and the next generation or the future generation starts with the youth. So it is very attractive to every young Ghanaian. Says, I hope I say, who is inside or my Ghana Mudia. Beka and you saw the Huno say, Timemufo, the Omo Wofi, Omo Wakuntum, Yankai Humbo. See a kind Humboma, you bet me and cry. Ama, the Tennessee politicians, they fear numbers. You get their attention when they see, say, there are numbers.
Okay.
Oman Ghana Baako policies na ye will be a ya fa to ye ho say yentimamufo na ye beye and na ye will be no so ma we need to lobby we need to affect policy making and no would need numbers and no would need a united voice say ye nyina ye beka ye nkasa na boma ye ne baako and when there is that power behind the unity amanfo be sha se atie ye and yema bebrebe ewo yema no if say fundamentally no I try I was say yes right from the scratch but so much that change now you need a united front and that is what Oman Ghana Baako is calling for say ye wokuo assume say ye wokuo obenti ye wokuo ni bebrebe but ubetimi join ko bia nanso Ghana Baako say Oman Ghana Baako say ye kuo ni nyina na chi no yes aka ye humbom say Ghana for enye se ebia ye dwene individual welfare ho na sisi ani de ye dwene Oman Ghana ho says ama se Oman ni ye ya ebi beka me ebi beka wo enkoba se obi yare entino hia mo ase individual asemo ano nemo Oman na no betimi abo abra abo anipa no se wo hwe obroni kroma ye wo akora no to ho no ma Oman na nkasa abo obra no be 50% ama no dia kan ye about 50% effort ono ankasa as individual no or the beka ho and obey okay metna Germany kakra ansa na meba ha ama dem hu ene say bi supervisor ba kona me ne wadwuma or about 60 something years no say obukro Berlin kra no onko order na mbusa won to kwa do Berlin da o say there bi mbusa say there o say de ohia bia no Hanover na oti ne wonya adwuma yetua ne kakama etino chese if you no any krom kra no unhu how it is necessary to say o free hono monko another state etino nipa sa ne be dey so tu kwan akọ krofoforo so akwanto de yinim say entwamu da eye dey akwanto be wo ho say even broni krokra na you say eye no ye obi no momom tu kwan akọ krofoforo so but ye pese nru pempem so obi say nipa na tu kwan a na nkɔba sɛ ahokyerɛ bi anaasɛ biribi pam no wɔ Ghana nti na wɔdwane na mmom ɔtu kwan sɛ ɔkɔsua nimdeɛ no de abɛboa Ghana anaasɛ ɔtu kwan sɛ adwuma papapaa bi a ɔyɛ ama so mfasoɔ no ɛbɛsan aba back to Ghana na nkɔba sɛ ɔdwane afiri Ghana ɛnam sɛ ɔfu sɛ ɔni biribi yɔ ne ho kyerɛ no ɔni anidaso bi a wɔ ɔman no mu ɛno nti na ɔtu kwan na wobɛtumi ayɛ yi a yɛsɛ wotu wɔmɔnefo no na wotu krafo no na wotu wɔmɔne sofo ansa na bɛka kyerɛ obi kwan sɛ ma ne mfa nsuo so wotu kwan no. What options are you giving the person? Are there opportunities back home? That is what Oman Ghana Baako wants to drum home. Say, and you may be more why you beat me ayo. Ama yesu de biya say there are no hospital beds in our country. It yet to me started an apprenticeship be as citizens say ye create juma me binum na ye faso I beds for ye hospitals na. Saban to me na ye feel say yentimem for you beat me aye. Ebia me akosiko bi nko anu misika ntumi. Ebia wa ma wonko osika ntumi. Na yen kambom and share the burden. Near us yen make a difference. And
I'm liking
Ghana for you.
I'm liking this because really, I say Ghana for ye nipa ye tawo obi necessary ye be my the government has failed. And look at Abrochire. They be catch Ghana for Abrochire bet na any government na ye you. Maybe I am has
no.
Hey.
Me dem come on.
What's the mean?
Me too on councilment manka.
Aye.
Eli Cobra. Eli Free Cobra.
Okay.
Okay. Cobra.
Okay.
Hey, me chrome for. And I Eli chrome for. Now me can't say baby I meti. I say Ghana for Eba and Sra would Dubai. No more can the government has done so well for the people. Dubai baby I am mobile Sra. Oko Dubai Mola. Ube who say building ya try Iman. Your friend is saying the world's tallest building, Khalifa. Which one? Ya try Iman. Island in this one, sir, after no, I will call Dubai, I will call, and Dubai is nice. No put your pictures. It's one company mainly, Iman, and at the market properties, individual companies, and almost Sadia, and it's now generating revenue for Oman. Oko Abu Dhabi, a also Omo Alda, and the island back over the Omo, Omodia, be also be your Omodia, and almost see, and nobody is in check. They be America's asem ne say da Ghana for be sua sa activism no. Ghana for beti ye say nya ban any ye nyina. Na a collaboration between aban any individuals ni ekuaku. See ye nyina ye de hye ebotum te say de ye de hye ebotum de come men's gold no. Na say yira na fe ye sign the switch that by so basically ye. At ye nyesa no a ye say ye mfa bi nya hwe mfa mo ahwe na ban na ye bi bia no a. As long as we have that attitude, change is not going to come. Because no government anywhere is capable of all of it. No government. Meaning baby I'm but me sure say baby a chrono I buy no one kasabema woman saswatcher say it is a public your friend say and a private partnership, PPPs. And as I say, if we are still the development, anyway, me driver points maybe teacher say we are looking at your friend is saying in Puntujuma any projects. So man we develop communities na nipa etini atrem. Obi tia me na so obi masutire. Ma me nkonkosra wo fasa me so da so wo ha. Wo fasa am sa wo te me nka.
No.
Yeah. Wo fasa I'm still that no cobra. Na say what freeze. Mr. Cobra, the you free cobra what? Oba na my side waka ho. Eh, na why na ira?
Gina.
Me so of some cobra na gina swaira. Of some cobra why Mr. Cobra pet.
What's me Galia?
They say aye yeah. Of some
Better.
Obi
Yes.
Oman Ghana project oriented. Na me share that what do you mean by you are project oriented? What does that mean?
I mean, what it means is say we're not a think tank as an organization. where we bring out about policy to direct government. But what we are more of in terms of how we will support, is more of an implementation of projects. So if we take, for example, the fact the health service, and like I said, yeah, we think perhaps what the health service is now, there's something that we can do to make it a bit better than what it is now. So the project oriented will be, we can take an aspect of it and say if we want to do that hospital, which will be run by the organization, there will be that hospital. Obviously, the donation comes from the individual ordinary Ghanaians that put their money to build a hospital, which belongs to everyone in Ghana and run by the organization. So our motive is not about policy necessarily in terms of as a think tank. It's an idea has the money and that we are more making sure that projects we can be implemented, it is actually implemented at a cost which we think it is a very reasonable cost comparatively to what it should have been. It's more
Oh, Professor, internet na say ajebo. Professor meba. Ellie, I mean mesra it's the same question I'm talking about Professor about project oriented what you mean by that, and if you have done any project, my example. What does it mean if you are project oriented?
So because of project oriented now, what we are saying is say, if we all come together and contribute and say, we need to put a hospital there. That means to say, may Ellie, may the one city bar. Now Ama also the one city bar. Now for some also the one city bar. It will go faster to make this a big thing. And it will make it easy for us to get that. For Ghana, we have been dependent on this government upon change of government. We end this in MPP. We've been so dependent on them and they disappointed us numerous times. And our main aim is that we citizens, we citizens, we Ghanaians, okay, are going to take this country by the horns and do things for us. Look at the way our country is. South Peck Hospital, Papaba, you have to come to Accra.
Yeah.
If you need good schools, you have to be in certain areas.
Yeah.
We don't want that. We are the ones living in the communities. We are the ones who knows to say there are so many, quote unquote, government officials, leaders there who only take their kids outside the country to go to school. So what about us?
Okay.
For us, we have our interests at heart. We know so many people in places who cannot even get schools to take their kids to. And we cannot sit down and wait to say, we are waiting for MPP to come and do this for us. We are waiting for NDC to come and do this for us. No, we are doing it by ourselves. This is why we are pleading and asking all Ghanaians to say, come, let's get out. Let's hold this country by its horns. Mother Ghana needs us. We are the countrymen. The country is for us. Let's join our forces together. Bring your 1 CD, I will bring my $1. If you have 10 CDs, bring it, I'll bring my $10. Let's do this for ourselves. We are almost like orphans. Nobody cares for us. They will take our names, go places, get loans, do whatever they want, but we will not see what it's used for.
Okay.
We just want to do our own thing.
Yeah.
Come together as a force. Let's come together as one Ghana. The divisiveness is too much.
Okay.
That was saying.
Goosebumps. Now, Obi bisa question B. I want to address the person's question. Obi bisa question say, why do we vote for the politician? Listen, the Biamika say, "My brochire no awo beto no." Enye say ya na approaching so Oh, Elias Ayra. Abrochire ya beto ne kama yi. Abrochire so eduru baby na politicians they were not doing enough for this for citizens no. Eduru baby na politicians omo de niam nyina kwa London bi eja ekurase even ene today. Mo amoti UK no. So we hear omo school systems ne niam bi amenities bi kura still you can see say enchichemu no. Ebeduru communities ni bi no na ya nche ne pepepe na ebi mo ho akodi. What tended to happen in these abrochire, as they say, there's a community in Munipa. They decided, say enough. We are not going to wait for the politician. We will do it for ourselves, and then we will deal with the politician when we are done. Whilst in your school dying to them, there is not much you can do to the politician. Whilst your people are not educated, there is not much you can do to the politician. You don't have a voice. But if you did certain things for yourself and you gave yourselves a voice, then you can address the politician. Is why groups like this and initiatives like this are very important.
Just to add to the I mean, the democracy, as we all see it, it doesn't necessarily mean, say, if you have government in power, it means other aspects of the democracy cannot actually work. I mean, you can work alongside having government implementing policies and programs, and the social intervention programs also being done by other aspects of the community. And we'll mention about how the private sector can actually get involved in the social development. And actually, some of the examples that you gave with Dubai, and where it is not necessarily about the government that is actually building everything, but the private sector also getting involved. So government will still be government. Nothing is going to stop that. And to be quite honest, this is a complement of what government efforts that governments want to do. So if we have as an organization within those non-governmental organization aspect, programs, Yemfa Hospital as an example, if we build one hospital, we manage to build one hospital as a collective people. We build an hospital, we run the hospital collectively now, and we compare what we have with what government's efforts are. It is much easier for us now to look at what government is doing and say, actually, look, we have been able to run this thing, and this is a cost that they actually. So how come you are actually not being able to run it exactly the same way we are running it? So all of these things are things that we can actually. We don't necessarily have to wait for government to be doing everything for us. So the other time I was reading an article. I think that no, it wasn't an article. I think the former Papa also during Kufuor's government, when he was a Minister of State, and there was a world population program for attending New York, and he did mention about the number of Ghanaians in the diaspora, which is around 2006, it was equivalent to about 3 million, give and take somewhere around that figure. I know it's not every 3 million Ghanaian that you probably will be able to get money from if you want people to actually come together and say, but let's even give it, say, that is a figure that we have 3 million Ghanaians, and everyone is decided to say, we're going to focus on one aspect of it, which is the health sector. Now you're making sure, say, we make the health sector to become what we have seen whilst we actually been in abroad. And doing that implies, why can't you also channel that energy? Now you build a hospital. Now you run that hospital. Because it is not impossible for an ordinary Ghanaians to actually run an hospital. And a lot of NGOs have been doing this. So we can actually do this as a people. So government will still be government. 4 years of governments in power, we can still assess them, we can vote them in power, vote them out of power. But so and on the side, continue doing what we can do to support those governments efforts. And therefore, we can actually now look at what we've achieved and say, look, Jack, you actually not doing it well because we can actually do it better. And this is an example that we've seen.
Can somebody say, Oman Ghana Baako, a self-agency organization then, from what you are saying?
Well, in a way, I mean, it's a non-governmental organization, so in a way, you could put it, and that is why we actually aiming as part of our short to medium term objective, to try to bring a lot of people together, and that is in the collective unity. You get a lot of intellectuals coming in to join. And when I talk about intellectual, I'm not talking about in an issue, say, just will be up school, PhD, that's not your intellectual. That the intellectual conversation can come within our community. So we clean and you do it effectively. We are cleaning manager. That skill that you have, can also be outsourced and use exactly the same skill. So it is how it is, to be quite honest. Yeah? It has to be done from the private sector, from the non-governmental sector, and I believe that the complement of that, is what we need to make Ghana move forward the way we expect it to move forward.
Sister Ellie, I maybe some question.
Mate.
When come man no more politics, no capital. Yeah, my dear cafe. Yeah, this is our Romanian man with you. Sister, I don't.
Ah, Debbie.
Where family?
Debbie.
Yes, you make a I
yes, I was saying, yeah, and man also so come home. One, Osha, what do I need to be as ya? Yama, and yes, I me discriminate. Yama and mema opportunity. They say, one handle your mama. Minya ama, we have been disappointed. We have been really, really disappointed. So it's time, say, we have to back them with our voice. If they want to go ahead of us, they should go. But we also have to tell them, say, no, this is how we want it. And as women also so know, we are almost like glue. We hold things together. Oba will fear, Oba pa will fear. Look, a good woman in the house will hold the family together, regardless. Ghana is one big family. We are all Black people. We are Ghanaians. We are the product of Mother Ghana. And therefore, we cannot let Mother Ghana just lie low like that. Somehow, the motherness, the nurture that Mother Ghana has given us, the women, has to be felt. We just cannot sit back and look. Look, if my child, Minti Ghana, by the way, but in Minti Ghana, I could have been the woman who is living in the village with 7 kids, who has no way of taking this child to a very good school, all because she is not in the government, or she doesn't know anybody in the government, or she doesn't have money. Why should that happen? That shouldn't happen. Therefore, if we women are saying, say, we are just going to sit down as if we are statues or as if we are doormats, no, this country is not going to move on. Therefore, we have to hold the hands of our children, our husbands, our brothers, our uncles, our fathers, and say, look, let's come together and make this country good for us.
Okay.
Auntie, we are calling all women. Talk to your children. Obi Saneka say, if you educate a woman, you educate a nation.
Could you agree?
And that is all I would say. Exactly.
And the man on social and it's not on train some papa for the pay. Okay.
Debbie.
Obi bisa question back into the best woman in Mama baby. I assume I see, but I had you on the platform. So far, about bisa questions. Also, what's the difference between Oman Ghana and the other NGOs? Okay, so who is the Momo NGO? Why the better no?
I remember.
President.
Oh.
Remember, man.
Ubetimi abem. So kasa ya check. Nti ubetimi afa. So na wo kasa.
Me tiari nyina no ya comments na me hwe. Blessed beyond belief and ibusa sa question no. Yeah. The thing say there are a lot of NGOs, but NGOs no are doing things on their own, and then particularly with the minority few. So, but Oman Ghana Baako AEBB say no one will claim ownership of the group. Say a media and I mean kofa and I say I'll be in there. Yes, say Oman Ghana Baako a Ghana ni bebia. Ohwehwen sakraye Oman Ghana mo. Se kan ho. Na ye nyina wo su ehunu Said Mr. Mackay, Oman Ghana Baako is not a policy think tank. Say, yes, say, your honor say, I buy maybe I ever bought a chi, the policies basa buy and find your Debbie. Name me, say, yeah, per se, people centered. Say, yeah, if you see it, maybe. Now, me answer a question on me, the fra a candidate for Ama Eli, or also besides in this say, we should deal with numbers and not emotions.
Yes.
The tenor said, there is strength in unity, Ama. To say, yes, I take hospital beds an example, no, because you cost no, now I had a bit in your bed. Maybe quantity, I said, I'm kind of maybe second to me, Ebiama who second to me. But we have well over 3 million Ghanaians in the diaspora. And to say, my Ghana Baako, you will be a friend of one Ghana policy. The attorney says, oh, Ghana, now your vision, you feel say a beboa, yes, sir, say donate an amount of 1 cedis per month with your Momo account. You can make that donation.
Okay.
Or UK, donate a minimum of £1. Or US, donate a minimum of $1. So, says can you it is easier to part with. And nothing you are paying at that, But say, now so you can give more. It is welcomed. Now, I'm fun to say we get 5 million Ghanaians signing on to such a project.
Okay.
That means per month, we are generating about 5 million Ghana cedis. Now, with 5 million Ghana cedis, you're translating into beds. How many beds can we procure?
Okay.
So if we are not even going to do it on our own, now say we'll see a procure. With 5 million, we can procure a huge number of beds. That is the vision. That is the idea you're preaching. Say, let's share the burden. You're spreading across. Now, what dear kakra, me dear kakra, and yes, you can inquire name as soon as Yansa or Bintin Yansano, young Kamum kakra, that little drops would come together and make the mighty ocean.
It's
So,
rather
what's it apart now? It looks so huge. Say, I deal with ye, yentimin, a yedne. But when there is a huge number, now ye share burden no and kakra. That is where we can make a difference. So, Oman Ghana Baako be a can say, well, it is an NGO, say, in Krata, same money at the end, say, we be I was say, we'll register under an umbrella. So, we had to register as an NGO or as a charity.
okay.
But then, activities and Kasan, it involves every well meaning Ghanaian. Say, am I your phobia you be there? And that is where it drew baby and not Yeshisha and Isipai Kakra. Nipa bi no mo free say ye tua tax e ma ban ye de tumi ahya ban sa aban na wo se wo hwe no ye niema ma ye o de nkani aba ikrom ne de fine. The government has its basic responsibilities to do.
And you know, credit. Yeah, me ya say baby a bit maybe street. I dey be catch them for baby a bit street lights only on the main enclave now your Dura community, and the 1 or 2 principal. And how we use this block system, and the 4 corners of the square no block and an abiding community. There is no internal road. Street light what happens here? And then would be adding community or on the wall, no, so all the way around their house. It will be a that means to the next one. No, there is light everywhere. But there are citizens who are almost dying a war community, woman and a far light bill. Woman could have read and woman oil, but the citizens understand the simple thing. Woman yet be and so. And woman yet so. Yes, Kwesi.
Min twa no.
Kasa.
And say uhwe Oman Ghana Baako ye hihye ye mo a the immediate project here person here rolling out CCI we are still developing materials for and say you be share here with civic education trying to let the Ghanaian know say enya ban na also ye bibia who say change and I say ensisan wa abrabo mu no e share si free adwene mu say enipa no edi kan anje antum say ade a make us why ye no emfa susu so papa bia amraminti e wo say mesesa e free ho a obekos why ye nyina so etino I was say a share with the mindset of the individual It you go so civic education a year per year no you develop the materials no, across all the social facets of the country. So ni titiriw ketasehye any proyo e wo man nim. Tebia and yaka you the grand ones no amongst the political class. But hama say corruption are based so endemic in the country say ankura bia wo man nim say bi than a crop for. But you say ya bet to say a part and parcel of us. It is so wrong. It is so wrong.
Your friend papa. See any say ya.
Said the last na me no din komo na me site no. Ufri omai mu airport Ghana, udu airport immigration officer APC carefree won check. Where we no taxi driver offer wakufie or pewabu. Ukodru fia wa wabusuafo a woni omotifie no so no pewabu. Chese obi a obehia no bia mate ni on driver ye adwuma no person o ti ntwobo. Call passport office ye o passport odi o ti on person obu. Obi at in the office call one Jessica mana your documents will be pushed under the carpet. So na sabi wa wo ti office na wo ji obi 50 cedis ansa na why you be bia mano. Only cromfo a team kejeti abontin a wakoto obi go to my 5 6 different ana.
No difference. None.
Only say one dey action na ya bu na kuno but wo bokro no kese and am corruption ya dia ekum nipa ekum a chance wo di to so bi so pono and no ne dia was Ghana ye me hunu say ya dia edi enya na ye sha ase say ye best say ya dwene fro people should be able to identify corruption, be able to resist it and then expose it. And you go so you develop a platform because now people would be able to report anonymously the encounters they have either in the government class and then within civil servants, any on the individual level, no, on experiences. So then we put all these data together, and then as we move along, we shape the policy, how we are going to change the mindset. Last week I said, we said near school, no near youth clubs, BBB, Center for Development of People, youth in agriculture, BBB, I never honma, it's a put the panel BBB debate clubs near there. Your person Oman Ghana Baako so you search in our second cycle and then junior high schools, no. Say right from school, no, ye mofra no yen shas ye mo say corruption ya de and then it is good to be patriotic. Ama den pa se broni be yen adwene say me evade tax. A very few bina omo try. And the majority of them no declare their taxes as this. I was see who is adding in say. Say a shall say yen di o mine abra. Ebeboa me. Say wa kontu man pepi ne yesa emfa me ho. Last make us asem we. Accident see wo in Kranzama nipa over 90 ewie no. Na akwantufo mienu wo mo kwa homeje e wo Ghana e ka ho. Omowu umahwere on monkwa. Enti no so wo betena kwantum na ka se emfa me ho a. Ebedu bebi abefa ho. Say yesi kunturu nwan ya ni nkyira na yede ekọ. Unsayem be unsachi be on antisa unsayem. Ghana ni baby are free. Eti yenhwe ne yenhyase ne yenya ne ye. Wo ne me se ye ka bom ne nyina be ka Oman Ghana Baako hu. Me kwa minim die ntimi nye bibia ama wo kwa die ntimi. Na emom kakra no na se ye ka bom a eno na beboa yi ama nsakra ye beba. Eti ne ye na ye tun safro Oman obia Oman Ghana mu se be kan ye ho ye nyina ye nka bom na ye ndane Oman Ghana. Me da sama me ma no be tia mo fufu abe.
Okay, Ellie. Maybe
Yes.
that is a corruption. Dear baby, this idea, man. The patch of me be no will be having a patch of Twasukakama about corruption and my role in making sure says our corruption. You bet me access at the end of it.
Yo, Mate. Yo. Answer me po hono so. Ade ba kwa me person me kan say ebi before. I was suban bi a enye. We are always waiting for somebody to come and do something for us. Obibini, when him say, God na woman nim hono, e mo ye fin. Now so me train say, me phone e baba ya mame. Come baby ameti no. Locality ameti. there are people from this county who have come together, say, we are going to form a drug program, okay? Which also means to say, me find say me need health insurance. That's my hospital. That's your mommy, friend is saying, a drone. I mean, the group here, no, they have come together and they have money. Meet me abba catch me so, oh, Miss Lemo, me watch me. No, mama, Miss Canon, na me diako. We have food banks, and that is not the government doing it for them. These are people who have realized, say, if we don't get up to do this thing for us now, we are not going to go anywhere. So it's about time that we Black people know, say, if we don't stand to do things for ourselves now, nobody will do anything for us. In terms of corruption, also, so we have so many little things that we do that we don't think is corruption. Because corruption says, yeah, fine, say the corruption means minister riska. Wow, wuni pano now police actual now money 2,000 Ghana or you can't say no. You are a corrupt person yourself. You can say your friend is saying, sir, illegal connections now that is all corruption. Now, who taxi driver who drive a taxi on the road, and say you're supposed to go on this path, but you decide to say may quite confront the other side. No, that is also corruption.
Ali want to two big punches. Hold it. And I really want to address my mother's parental role in making sure that this buck ends here. And you can say corruption in wonderful. So how do we make sure everybody knows this?
What we have to make sure as mothers, our role in the society, our role in the community, and our role in the family is to raise upright people. You see, train a child in the way he should grow, and when he grows, he will never depart from it. So if me, a mother, is teaching my child how to lie, what do you think you're teaching your child? You are teaching your child not to be a good citizen. So it's about time that we call a spade a spade.
Okay.
To say, if we don't train our kids and if we don't hold people responsible about what they do now, guess what? By the time they grow up, they are going to be like those ministers and those government officials who are stealing. All those people came from a home. They came from a training. As women, we are naturally nurturers. We have to nurture people. And if you don't nurture things very well now, guess what? It's going to be crooked. So it is our duty to do the right thing. Call a spade a spade. Kwejo, don't do this. You yes say this is what happens. Yeah, makwakoto ade na makwakoto madam for be ade. Na say man returning in term of Feni pana catch and say, oh, sister, me returning ade in term the beba. And that's say you don't intentionally do things just to benefit you, forgetting the consequences that it sends around. Okay. These little things are what makes our country what it is right now.
Right, to bunch, Masha da nature as a man, we make come when you near Sacra Yetiban. Yet media ye Maquesia man is also present.
Ama unza de tene say how be about my moa and my brepa.
Okay, Cosso.
And on nine channel says Sabi corruption and accusation pro and pay yana a mema nayo. Now the tene say Beme Bia no ya or the call banche.
Yeah,
what the corner you're in. And I said, oh, my men, the bushing, so whom it say me who brony chrome say, bro, or bat me catching you, say, I'll call the police for you. I deal ya is when
yeah.
But yama menum yen man, no, you must say, oh, my your son. So, Emma, I was say, Emma Yamushi won't a Frau Ghana Baako, who say, Ebrena so say o se asesa ye ma no ye nua ma no no eye niema ye a enyo nanso ye ne betimi atu wonfo ye ne betimi atete won ye ne betimi akasa akere won ama won asesa free ho so ema di ade animu a emema gi to muntem so and that is where you hear say oba bia ntena ne to so ye nyina ye mekambom na Oman Ghana Baako ye nyina ye ntu anamo na enhihye ya ye pese ye rolling out no enkakra nkakra no ye mfamu abonten na ye mpe ensakraye na ye nyina ye hwehwe no me that's
Okay.
Just to add to the Yayaka on corruption. To touch very I know, say your question was directed on specifically about how women are meant to be impacted on the issue of corruption. But if I can perhaps maybe generalize it for us as an organization. So I mean the idea behind trying, because corruption itself is a long-term issue. Within the short term, it probably almost an impossible thing to get rid of. So it has to take strategically. You ever start from somewhere, and part of the fight has already been happening in Ghana. Issues regarding the change of the law and what Parliament has done with the whistleblowers and all of that. Those things are all adding to it. In addition to that, if we can bring the practicality aspect, I bet you have to start or make an impact on as an organization or what we intend and say when him say when we started talking, we spoke about the project driven, and you said, say, as an organization we are project driven. If we decide, say, we're going to implement a project, and obviously the financial management of that project, the bidding of it, all of it will have to be very transparent. As an organization, we manage to bring the transparency into making sure, say, yeah, establish your project. And I'm always going to use the hospital as an example. We cost a hospital for, let's say, 500 million Ghana, and it has been audited. It has been audited by proper accountants and people. It has been external agencies as well audited, and everything actually speak to the truth. What we actually have done is actually value for money. You compare exactly the same thing to what perhaps maybe government will be doing. That in itself, is an aspect of way of you fighting corruption.
Yeah.
Because if an organization can do it within a specific budget now, it what implies to say if government is not doing it like that now, then there's something definitely wrong. So it tells us the checks and balances in a way, say a very practical way of making sure, say, we putting government on hold and making sure the government actually doing the right thing. So that's one aspect of it. The other aspect as an organization, which we are thinking, I know this is already being is perhaps happening, the civic education aspect of it. The other time I was looking at the budget, government budget for civic education, and it's somewhere around 40 something million Ghana cedis for NCE to do civic education for the whole country, 40 something million, and this is even on the upside. I guess how much they gave to the Electoral Commission in 2016, almost 1 billion Ghana cedis that they gave to the Electoral Commission for electoral purposes. So our priorities were to make sure, say, a government can actually come to power. So they have money that we manage to spend on that. So there has been a disparity between what civic education can actually do, even if the short term and also the long term, and what an electoral process can do. So if we take the civic education aspect of it now, corruption can be fought through that. The curriculum system that we have in the system, the education system, in the end, and Isiaba did mention about it earlier, said the design of programs are through civic education. We are looking at it from the standpoint of view, say it will be more into curriculum-based implementation programs. So if we take the education system, can we have a program within that education system that we always hitting on issues, what corruption is and how corruption basically it's sort of exposes itself communities. So that is something that we actually not doing very well because the law is there in Ghana to keep corruption it's not working. I mean, there's something fundamentally missing somehow. Maybe people are not actually really appreciating what corruption really, because examples that we're giving right now about the simple things about scam will be, people think that it is very, very normal. It is the norm, because if you don't go it that way, you won't be able to get the things you done. So we need to try to focus on do things different, a little bit different than what we actually been doing in the past, because it actually, to be quite honest, it hasn't actually been very successful in relation to that. So as an organization, Ghana Baako, this is what we actually intended to do. It will be very long, it will be a long-term thing. It's not something that is going to be achieved within 5 years from now, but we need to start from somewhere. Make sure we hit home really hard in the aspect of this issue, corruption issues I mentioned. And just to add that, we say how much if we learn. So I think there was a question on the you said the question was I think it's Frederick Davis, and see, I said with an NGO helping children with uniform in the central region, the guys in the village sold most of the materials provided. How do we deal with the issue of trust? And that is actually one of the fundamental problems that we always going to have. We as an organization, we know it is going to be very, very challenging, because fundamentally within society, we have accepted the issue of corruption. It is actually quite normal. So to curb some of these problems, in place, the mindset now has to change. And how do we change our mindset? Education, through civic education, to hitting home, to making sure that people actually accept and say, when one person is corrupt, now it means that the whole nation is becoming corrupt. Until we can only find these things through civic education, making sure people are becoming aware. Of course, the law is there. The law has to be very, very applicable. But if Ghana Baako, come together, you are implementing projects, and the implementing projects which basically falls within what the budget basically is, comparing to what international standards are. Then that transparency, then it makes it much easier for those sort of trust now. For those sort of trust to be there. And also, just to add to that, there was another question which I think someone was asking, say, yeah, I know one individual, not the organization as it stands, OGB, I don't even have access to the accounts for OGB. There's a financial management plan for the organization where even donations that comes in, it goes in through centrally. It goes through the bank. So it goes through the trustee system. So there is only trustees, and there is quite a lot that we've done. There's quite a lot of work that we've done to make sure, say, even people working for the organization will not be the one that will be assessing the funding for the organization. And that's part of the transparency because we cannot actually convince anyone, say, but if we haven't actually put things, we haven't done things properly. And we cannot convince Ghanaians as well if we cannot implement things within the budget. So it is a huge responsibility, but it's a responsibility and a challenge that I can see, say, it is actually very, very achievable. And how is it achievable? It's an issue of unity. Because I'm a would you as someone who is in the public domain doing programs that you're not gonna sit down and allow Oman Ghana Baako as an organization to be taking money from people and not actually the money where it should actually be going. So those huge responsibilities also fall on you. So making sure you're hitting home and making sure people are doing the right things. And we cannot sit here, come and talk to people and talk about corruption, and as an organization, then we become corrupt. Then what's the point really as for having to have those organizations?
Shabaku be a Farah de Atoso. Farah say, Obi Pisa, so we didn't crack Abayenduma or no only Bruni a partner. The partner listen to what didn't crack Amanoa, naturally say, will be free with Tidiaman, one in the house. That's why, yes, I did not be chocolate. That's the difference between some Crawford entity and any idea. Yeah, you're phone it sometimes, so sometimes. What could before I had a bit in your catch or no, and I said you could on it. So, yes, I did be chocolate. Maybe I'm catching me. Says he can be Nasa meaning baby, as I can be free. Mihunu Niama who be with her, Namin Shadow and Minchia, men a medical free, as he someone said. because and it's one of those things as a community we need to come to realize. So when you be different, no one can. Eboboba and that was stress be. Mihunu kwasi na kwasi bokoro no na manka and that mesre subi. And that attitude, you are right. A civil education and a bit in Yabwa. And may be assistant Sadi wing kakra. We have been the comment because now me per se panel no it's me kasa. Now one more check me and me in IET massive. Nebi no be say how will it work? Comments no. Oh, one ira okay. Your friend is saying, Gina, when you are a
Gina, I'm saying, no, why busy a crowd? You can't prompt him and say, be a obequasna, bantino. I mean, sure, see be over generally time.
That is absolutely fine. I want to say, and for my lady, I had Faraday or a full field say, teaching feedback. If he or say Ghana for feel say a normal, so what they won't crack up, Emma will be so when you mamma. On Fanya Juma, a yaquanya your fast with the CC abine. Yaquanya your fast with the dada abine. Yes, I am more by Emma when the Padua woman a year, Jumani the Padua, a woman you provided amenities for a war instance will be. The Nipadrom Ebu Abinu, a crubim. Nasa binding Nimsemun Yanamo, a binding shisha and woman shed the hospital do our and so because Nipa hospital no a draw so same they are buying a prepare for a school do our woman see and also when so England for say they really suffered sad and ye burebu near bewo and kwasiawo ebu ye inflating numbers not planning our woman for schools they drew baby na primary schools all of us because of that so many necessary a church and any party of massive said near my ye in that so crazy and what my person at for question but me aware at the end a yet one more about one more I will be to say be a 2 hours 3 hours program or a year then ha so bet to was one be penny in art thing until the person may yet one instead see a one off near Jahon. I would like to invite you guys to a series of short ones. Rather say you bear about 5 hours to be anti-mission. Maybe 3 or 4 episodes, depending on more availability, because I am very intrigued. I want to understand. I want to know. But maybe start and then just a call to action. I was here 4 minutes. So much to the comments, baby. You no cry. I will say a year back. Yentimian kind of. A japia the contact number no edia kudo enti wo a wo pese wo bisa questions no wutimi check it with a japia no na wo bisa mo a mo pese mo nso mo are convinced you have been galvanized as a sabokoboa wo nso so betimi ya use Oman Ghana or membership sign up no me dia to screen no so wo share comments ni mo a wo behunu say wo ho wo akoso but me pese me ba mo ho na mo sum up for me each one of you maybe a 5-minute summary. Ellie, we've been joining on a umbrella organization. So what are you before? Who was Santifuku? Who work on Consafuku? But I want you to give me a 5-minute pitch. Why should I come and join you? Me, amen. Me nisika me bitaku. Me sika me de bremo. Like a bit me atwabo na mo dia ye aduma. Ade na me to mo na me nso me meka mo. Ade dia.
Yo, me that was the question no. Nienti a ye pese a dom ebeka ye ho ne say. Me ma example me na me ye charity work bebre. Nanso me nko a enti be ko a enkola be 10 pe na me ti be hwom. Enkola be 2 pe na mama mo big scholarships won. Enti se ye nyina ye kan ye ho bom. Me Ellie, Papa Sam, Ama, Kwaku, Kofi, ye nyina ye back together. Now you see, okay, me this 1 city, also the 1 city, Kwakuso the 1 city, ebeba. A little drop of water makes a mighty ocean. Therefore, when we
me, okay, me come with £10. Also, me swan am biatu. No me give me Sana and I'm a person may make come on. Ye may add into the means to 10 pounds or more when I'm on your man. Nah, may maintain a hand and benefits. Why should I be involved?
You know, you see, that is what I'm saying. Say, before no, we want to sit down for somebody to do it for us.
And now,
yes, no, we all, like, you have to take the initiative. You have to trust yourself. Take the initiative. Say, Miss Tumi Babe can't be.
Why?
Because we need your brain. We need your suggestions. Say me, say now you are not in agreement. Oh, what's it early? And can you say and can you? Okay. I'm saying can crow. Okay, my to say what am I so experience be your baby? Maybe you have experience in architecture. Maybe I have experience in healthcare. Together we can come out and form something great. We need every soul. The baby in the womb, we need that baby.
And to pay brains, not just money.
We need brains, we need money, we need physical, a friend is saying work. We need you as a Ghanaian. You have to take Oman Ghana Baako as your family. You have to be part of the family. You cannot be a bystander. You cannot sit aside and say, oh, Misika, Sanka Sadi and Cassini, I can to go. Let them be 2 cities be about and yes, therefore, it's so say, say, Subai with you, and I'm to say, a penny for politicians, the government is taking advantage of us because we see ourselves separate from them. We don't ask questions. We don't hold people accountable. Therefore, it's like we are kind of say a Trojan horse, or we are some type of like idols, like a statue or something. Now, say they can use our names to go and get loans and do whatever they want. That is not what we want. It has not worked for us. You have to be a partaker. You have to hold people responsible. You have to say, okay, Misika Mediabao, therefore I want to see what the money is doing. And if it's not going your way, you have to voice it out and say, this is not what I want it to be. This is not what I want you to use my money for. Let's do it this way. This is my opinion. We need you. We need every bit of you, all your ideas, all your strength, your efforts, your experience. We need that. We want you to be part of Oman Ghana Baako. One Ghana. If Ghana is yours, if Ghana is where you live, if you are a citizen of Ghana, you are Oman Ghana Baako.
And you've given me goosebumps. I intentionally asked you because Ghana for you, was our attitude in the power. May say, me be able to be a set of 10 pounds, then any or say I'm helping. Debbie, I'm a check officer. Maybe say, oh my Ghana Baako, you have not received a penny from me. But by hosting the program this evening, I've actually put everything I have and I am at your disposal. One more, say one more back. Oh my Ghana Baako, at least from me, the platform. Be sure some say them £100 and kebebwa, but it is not comparable to what discussion that makes me facilitate it was our platform you so in it. The people who will see it, the people who might be galvanized, will be worth more than any amount of money I have in my bank account. And that's the point I actually wanted to push with audience. It's not about your money. It is more about your time. It is more about your resources. Sometimes it is more about your skills in pushing people, in checking, saying, yeah, you're right. And you depend on your friends and meticulous planning. Obi wo ha wo ba wukuo mu a or your maker or nunti mu nyina mu be bibi afrenche. And that person is just as valuable as the what 10 million pounds that what the mama.
Thank you.
So they can't be involved. It is those people I really wanted you to reach, and I think you've done a phenomenal job. Ever see you? Whoa. You say me to 10 pounds and more. Me, I'm maybe I'm minding my business. Maybe I can't afford work around and help. I don't like
the say. Ama the thing say sika no kwantimi nya bibia. Sika no de ntimi no kwant debi. Unse mpanyufo ka se say de otwa sa no nim se na chiachia. Ena ye city cross nkwa agina. Ena adwen eni ba ko fotiri. Say in your numbers now, that is when the pool becomes huge to pick from. So say bibia no ye who say ka footballers say gina pitch so ebo ball no just 11. And so be no ye makwande e 23 and echo. The same thing say obi be film am obi abehye. Obi be pra am obi. Na the ya na one squad say be a team ni betimi nya winner na player bi ofreach the by ni be share goal. That is where we need the numbers. Obia tu ye hunu nim die no adwene po no kakran no ye ka ni nyina aboma eno ne betimi aboa amia make difference no. The person ye can say wo ye Ghana ni woti ye baby a wo bia no ene internet ama resist here wo Dubai sister Lee wo America and am so me wo ohima krom ha and so we stay na ye di nko. And you know men ka say ebia me wo chirichiri me dem a join me call your website honum no www.omanghanabaako1.org na sign up wo kwa wo say register ho kakraka o register pa ya fe ye be send an acknowledgement letter on saka from there you be din komo afa ye Facebook live shows so aye no every Sunday around 8 p.m. join the discussion or join the conversation no your fat topical issues about Ghana na ye di ho komo ebi so my policy document ni atumu bi o honum na ye pe enipa dwenche ni so hono ni a discuss na ho eno no kakra then you become part of it afei said ye can no sabi you say insio ebeto frankensis so ena sabi se wo hu se BBF a kwacha BF a ye disika na ye de eyo ni nyina mu no we would need the financial support and until your donation button or honor a minimum of £1, a minimum of $1, a minimum of £1, a minimum of €1. Kakrabia obetimi bia donate my na projects a yepese ye yentimi nyesika emfanyo sabi akosiko bia mtie me nkwa misika ntimi ama nkwa untimi na sister so yenti
bra bi ni bi
en asumesi die obenchen die en kakra na yebeboaboa na no eno ne bitimi dia abom na IBB kese IBTM dia abon sechaye ama uzesisi ya woye niam bebrebe o mehunu wo marks no ne ade a woye no ebedu brebi ye behia sa e bia ama beboa ye pese ye tete Ghana for 500 no musu timi yes ade no eno no Oman Ghana Baako can come into agreement.
I have already told you guys send me it's at your disposal. Maybe when we make at some time, we decide some more uniform sabra. I will do it for you without any profit from my end. Production cost and which your production cost no much shipping cost. Minimally, I am not looking for profit from you. What person will find for be training one? Look in what I do, and if you think say I can be helpful in any way, all you have to do is just ask. Now, Obia can send you a home, mommy address and an AJ for Samuel. See, yeah, Ghana for your tada about a near maybe. Well, you are throwing one of them, and it's why I want to respond. Bra, if you answer who here, but if you one yet, you're abonting. Abonting yansa is also assessed by a pioneer wopako any nipa enyan here. So one won't say ya opa nimdie ni nyina wo ha wantimi ambie one ka wunim die nipa hu. Eti amongst ye mu no esese ye nya enkrofo a wo ano ate na wo mo betimi nya foforo edi nkita ho on our behalf. It is a fact we cannot run away from. Ghana for say yem person yesua di ntia yes slogan nya brofo nkwa na ho ya bra baby a what ye ka brofo then you need it. Wo brofo nya wunim nya nsa ye nipa hu sta what brofo. What bra nyansa dodo wo western world ya twi wo buku so one parking kan ye wu bida enti saa de no aye park dada ye we need to override it. It has not helped us, it will not help us. Yes, you will fear nyansa wo ba kai wo ho say nye fie nko na wote upia bonten enti abonten nyansa so you have to engage with it. Ehu hia me papa saa se bi Ideas Bank Portal said this is the same question you've been asking those founders with no response until now. You are a founding member of Diaspora Development Network, Holland, who seek to enhance the hidden potential of your youth of Africa, but you've been forced to join Oman Ghana Baako. But to me, we can make the numbers if we come together as an umbrella organization to fight the same causes as Oman Ghana Baako. As they are saying, Ideas Bank Portal, one more thing, you can remain a GDN member and you come and participate in Oman Ghana Baako. You can be a Yubefoko chairman and still be here as a participant. Me, I'm a Krabi, I don't join groups. Because what tends to be, the way my timing is and the way I come in, I invest, and then I move. I come in, I invest, and I move. Even people like me can still participate as long as what was our goodwill and you prioritize your ability to support, you do. And you don't have to go and register with them. So we £1 send you what will be. So we idea be a farmer. Who feel says they will not like it, but anyway, correct them, push them so that what they do improves. And if you do that, you are also being a citizen, not spectator. And as a sister, you keep on saying you don't like going to where Ghanaians are. Right? It's a general perception. It is a perception that makes me see Subaru the first. And actually, I have applied certain aspects of Saudi Arabia. Because you suban and kitty. You suban kitty free why bet me a cab my yamana ye. But as long as says I can concern a chemibras suban a woman, any pen punch, so what's you want? And it's an unfortunate fact amongst our people. It's an unfortunate fact. You can't it's nemono suban a sonnet. Enti se wo yo wa ya no mu na so wa hunu ekwan abefa so distance wo ho afiri suban ketekete ni bi ho a wo be hunu na wo so wo ye bi enu nti na nkofo tu sa eniema no ho afutu ye pese ye sesa niema esese ye sesa nketekete no na akese no asesa japia me kura de sese ye sese ye force nkofo bi a ye force wo mi se nkofo bi wo ha me terrorize wo mo sa Ghana for Becca to and betina inbox, but have you seen these people? Have you heard these people? Interviews are me or hanging a shadow, many da hopana me. Me person munina muhu. Say, oh my Ghana Babe Canadian, ne yeti. Ebia no my Ghana crown who is so many DDN, a yard crop. Next time, if Fred DDN for no super nomini me dim coma. Uber who is that oh my Ghana for who say, I can't go to the crown near your booking. You bet me your macabo, yet to me, I here. You can even join together to do specific projects. You don't have to be one umbrella organization in any way. In some way, let me sum it up for me. Why should I be part?
And we need the pool. Ye here will be a adventure, will be a swim, will be an India. Say a beckoning in Abum Kakra. Say organization is a living being. Oh, and as we keep growing, we keep changing. And Sakraya no bit me a bar, and a panabit me a bar, ne ejina, adventure, ahodoa, ecosona, a fofo ebemuna, yes, Sakra near many, send ye baye, na a baye up to standard, up to notch. So, because you see, yes, am I a fire at the Dadana, at the corner near 63 years. I in young who, as Sabia. Intino, ye pese ya de foforo dia. That means a brand and was here ye dani and seni na ye jumedie no ye seseni eni nyina behia edi pay woman say adwen foforo eba na ye koswa esa kire ni mani eno beboai eno gina wo say obi a join ena ye pesa de no te Ghana for through say 7th December no koto aba no wi a we the oman be kan bia emfa ne ho nanso election day is just the beginning of activity. So I don't need just a single day. If you work on, I will say you keep the government on to say obey him on. And you know one you hear $1, you hear one cedi in a day. Now so what you know, I was so because you made in home. Near shall see two animal. You see a per se civic education. You shall say near boss say you better send the pardon. I was so can be because we will need volunteers. We will need people who go around to talk to others. I'm okay be about say you may have all the knowledge. And now we any man be share of France and or try me directly say or ideas, but so betting yakasa no the own team 0% communicative via email. Now on also so maybe our research on money idea we do home common no deba. We need it all. So who team can amati one and what I'm a bit in a communicative side. I'm a on the idea way idea I'm doing pa share would you call a Ghana who's your British Council or USA the money are doing now. Some members in any high commission we don't need them there, but they are still there. And Ninja say go into the ground, tap into the resources in the country. Normally aboa investors ababefa. Oba Abrucha, Ghana no, we don't have anything like that. Yen tourism near the and we are unable to market it. And one say we do an airport. Now we welcome to Aqua Baronin. But Oba Bronini Krumna, Bronin Okunu Hanoma, and the air driving to Africa. Now say, Umo who there will be our Unye Bibia and Tre. Ghana Nekran, we better than Ghana be said, World Cup win able, and a Ghana happy or someone who said there is a country called Ghana. What are we doing? So Oman Ghana Baako say yes, I serving as an ambassadors for the country. Send ye bayana ye betri dom abaye mining. Now afufuro be hunu die Oman no so ye wo and pa ye wo. Na no aboa ama yagye atom. Enti no ye hia ankrankra bia say beka Oman Ghana Baako. Ni nyina ye nkambom nto na mo. Enye menim die enenye ama die. Na ye nyina ye die no si esipo na esi gina ye baako a ye betimi aboa amensakra ya ba.
As my sister, trust me, you don't want everyone, especially me. I always say that I am a dysfunctional person. Me kwa ekuobi mo a, mo am frefre me ko ni de bia me tumo mofo. Wo frɛ me kuom na me ba mu a, mo empanyimfo no maso ayɛ because me be some questions I come in ase. But you know what I've actually come to know? Ekuo empanyimfo no might not like it, but they need you. You might be an inconvenience, a thorn in people's flesh, but they need you because it's people like you. Munti onimsta wo ba meet na we beba. We be bisa. Enti so so boa ne ho ansa. So what
ya kofa de kire to ye ho so Ghana. O be ko class bi wo horma where you relax because you say ho de obi agye. But class bi so horma wo be ko nim say akura we ni akura we. Na I mean, me one student be a mature idea. Your friend Elibuachi now, she's a medical doctor, and almost time, ama. So what boy who pa now kwa? Let's you share staff common room and Akrano or graduate from a medical school. She so far one of the best. Who CP all the awards, Ellen. So, idea. It keeps you on your toes. And only a venue for because we do not keep them on their toes.
Yeah.
Guy bit is sports journalist, countryman songo. Shani program you're in fire for fire. And you probably be an enemy. But the oil no say we a penny now utie now after more about it keeps you in check. We need such people, those who would ask questions. Oh, anything that Mr. Amakai be say, ye be ye transparent. Yes, in the baako and contribute to one city. You perceive making sure say 1 cent in pono would be accounted for. Some say ye 3 and such you say the corrupter. What are we also doing differently? It be a perceive a move of fine. Ye to a point to be said. A bedroom brebia would donate 1 cedi now, it will reflect. Wouldn't send us in the order. If you're not £10 and an order, median cocan, I 11 pounds. Ube live. Aside that, no, yeah, project Biano, Sikabiano is raised against an invoice. Maybe to a meeting go East Casa made me check. Name so ye be Oman Ghana Baako. What we would do is say, who invoice no? And yet the Bank of Ghana. Now Oma pay directly. So that human factor say Obinko is come from Bra will be cleared. Oh, say ye lead by example, and your marketing kitibia a buana a marketer share pro it is strive on. You be in every ho and Nina things we want to do it practically so that people can observe and see, say, hey, I need a company possible. That is where a government can also do it. And I'm a never here, you can say. These word organizations here, omuma charity ne grants any donations, you know. Omo who say one see kabibrebe, akwa ban bibrebe ho, yet they don't see any development out of it. They're looking elsewhere to channel such funds.
Yeah.
Oh, it is yet near Kayahwabum, near Chassia, be near be so credible.
I like that.
We will get those people coming to support us.
Yes.
So, but
yes,
I will say yeah.
And Samunyam Frasia, this is the other thing. I leave you with my 2 cents. Kwesi, United Kingdom, I would say, it is my terrain. And I can tell you on good authority, said there are many, many, many funds. There are many, many pots of money. They intend to fight corruption in Africa. Now I was involved in bid writing for organizations. There are many organizations that will be writing bid for. It's one city near 10 cities near the Beba. But you also need to look broader. Baby, I would tibiara and sister for England. You need to look at the potential pots of money I'm moving to tap into. Sister Ellie, America for school. Sister Ellie needs American. You need to look into it. Obi was Germany and say free Germany. Yeah, the same way free Europe, England. Yeah, the way free France near Kikabumwa. You will also get a large amount of money. These monies are sitting there. Before we enjoy because we don't like bid writing. We don't like putting ourselves forward and we have to change it. We are taxpayers in these communities. We have contributed to these communities and it's about time we learn to tap into what we have paid for to use it to improve our people. And it's a really team. I want to share plans. Now I'm starting to share.
Exactly. And it has been on the back burner for some time because the entire Yentimisha Sadi and Asen and say mostly such people they would want to dwell on your credibility. Say or track record be say you have all your legal documents and everything in place and sana omubitimi aba in to help you. And those were the things that near behind the scenes.
That's the Ghanaian mistake, Kwesi. Ubenya documents what you say for the next 2 years whilst you write the bid. It's a waste of time. We need to learn this thing. Documents will take time. The bid also takes a long time. I will not kid you about it. If you don't sit there for 2 years sorting documents, we are not another 2 years writing bid. Yes, a waste of time. But today, Ellie, wouldn't we start looking at American pots of money?
Mate.
Identifying them. Look at their criteria. If you will meet it immediately. If you won't. The ones who don't meet, who will the assessor will start planning for, then you can start planning for. You would do as I did me, maybe be with Makoya and meet the end with me. I was asking so because we was staying with the baby. Time or no, you need to find, and in fact, some of you who are good with those things, don't wait for my Ghana. Bless beyond belief. Corporate Review England, who will pots of money now in inbox. Kwesi could be so big, free in inbox. Oh, sorry, I know. Kwesi sika we wo ha o. Kwesi sika we wo ha o. Kwesi could be one. Obi nimbi of France, start finding them because a lot of you are knowledgeable about certain things. That's ABN administrators. You need them.
The skill set will come together and then we can make a headway. So
idea. What is
on journey?
Why there will be some person who early is and I said me a man person who I am. Mr. Church, me when I say bet me I am your sister earlier.
What will be so was no the question about DDNA.
Who is this? Maybe I know person who early. Bravo fancy young come once
I'm say Amma, who is this Amma?
Who is this Amma or who is this Amma? Also, you can read it.
Who is the Amma? Who is the Amma?
The Amma.
I'm beginning to like this lady. Who is the
It could also be some person who know abaya no beka ho asem na bibisa. But I beka ni confusion na yebasa we react. And san ya bada. I donor agencies bebre and I am so aware. It's one of the things it hit me maybe 2 years ago. Some me so my I have worked with many organizations, but then Crawford will be impacting you. My when and since then it's become one of the things I start. It's inbox as have you seen this? Have you checked this? But media. Have you checked this? Have you seen this? Sika wo kwesi kobi o, kwesi kwakwa try o, kwesi have you seen it? It's not a matchmaking platform. Sister, you never know. This platform is becoming many, many different things. If you're there, matchmaking agency, you don't know. I was saying for her, but then I'm just say, na say, I'm a body different from one was able to let my back. My bet in the hopes that me and one want to send me a yen to me, you know. You know, able to me a share be a free. Into Kwesi, when you're busy a phone call, may say, and then you scratch the surface, young call, we have many questions. We are aggressive in prophobic. Pass next time. Obaswa. May the first a cantankerous character. But I could become of one camuku. Who will have some questions.
You hear me, sir?
Yeah, no. And I want to assure people, say, Oman Ghana is going to be living in a glass house where you can stand somewhere and look and see what is happening. It's not going to be living in a ceramic. It will be in a glass house. That means transparency is the motto.
Oh, we will need that person, no? The attorney said, and they had very bitter experiences with them. So, it's a baby brainer, every minute skeptical. Don't say, make we and ask them that they are not the we are saying, say, we starting something new. And there are a lot of questions on the minds of people. And you know, the more they ask, and that is where they are able to clear all doubts. So, Tinipano, Afe, ordinary Bishima, Obitimi, ordinary Ashim. It's no a questions in a bar, a boy.
Okay. But then Yamia says some of the kind of for early asset. The people who come on these platforms, you have to realize that they take a huge risk. They don't know what I'm about to ask them because we're scripted. I never tell them what we're about to talk about. They don't know what I'm about to ask. Everything is off their cup and it's a huge risk. So we already pass some work and check your tutu one and that's why I do that format of interviewing. It takes brave people to come. Some will be said these are questions. You better you questions be have ye we are munko back na munhwe mu mame na mo answer questions ni ye mame na obi enya ne ho entiase ni hu so that we can move forward from a point of understanding. But the munyina ase otina and then you me Oasis the Telford for your marriage program no as usual. Watchina mene stack and you be discuss child abuse, child sexual abuse. We have big programs that and I want to lift the lid on some of those. Sexual abuse, predation, pedophilia, and also you group. And you never hostings men and abreso, but katakatasonia katakatasuana, I had to say at the floor. It's a Menesa group of social workers, key workers, near the common. My publishing will page so on her time when you shower. But still be early, Yakupon in Shram Mammy. The best time next week.
Thanks for having us. All right.
Bye-bye.
Questions, who is our need your papa will be so many questions, but I was one more time here limited for today. Inti me my womako. Who bet me bisa in Siaba Kwesikobi, Facebook, bet me bisa. Oman Ghana Baako pe omo official links no so net that screen no so ejapia e wo so ono so betimi inbox na Alexa Pia no we bisa no or the website natural go check them out. And if you don't think said the organization is up to baby I will pass away in one maybe say see ya ye be kasa so le busia fo me da mo see nya good night.